Hey everybody, I'm Jen, this is Zoe, and we are here today to wrap up the Camp Creatology camp for this summer. So I am so excited that you guys have joined us today because we have an excellent butterfly that we're going to make. Zoe, you want to hold up the other one? It's a dot painting, so we're going to use pencils or Q-tips, whichever one you want to use, to make some cool butterflies or other shapes that you might want to make. In fact, I have it on good authority that Zoe is not making a butterfly today. So we will just have to see what she's got up her sleeve, right? All right, so let's go through the supplies real quick and we'll get started. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna need is the Creatology mixed media pad. So if you don't have this specific pad or you didn't get the kit, you're just looking for a paper that is a medium weight paper so that you can put paint on it without it crumpling. So the lighter the paper is, the more the water is going to make it have like a waffling effect. You could use watercolor paper, you can use paint paper, and you could even do this on a canvas if you have canvas instead of paper. The other thing you're gonna need are paints of some kind. So for those of you who ordered the camp kit for this week or for the whole camp, you have the Creatology acrylic paints, which are awesome. We've been using these all week. And then I also wanted to grab out the Creatology washable paint pouches. These are my absolute favorites. And now they sell them in a giant box. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. So if you're a big fan of these like I am, you can now buy a giant box of 10 different colors all in one. This is like literally Christmas in July, well, August now, but July is when I got them. And those paints are amazingly washable. They're easy to use. I'm going to use them today because it makes it a lot easier to put in the wells. But if you have these paints, that's great too. It does show you how to mix them on the back. I can talk to you about mixing them if you guys want to know how to mix them as well. You're also going to need some googly eyes. So I have an assortment of googly eyes here. Like I said, you're going to need Q-tips or a pencil with an eraser. I prefer the Q-tips because I'm going to be doing different colors. And it's easier for me to just toss the Q-tip than to try to get the eraser tip clean every time so that I don't mix the colors. You're also going to need a couple of popsicle sticks. Well, one if you're going to make a butterfly. More than one if you're going to make something else, and none if you're going to make what Zoe's going to make. And then you're going to need some glue. And I have the Creatology Sequin glue here. Again, this came in your kit. And I prefer this glue to the others, but you can use Elmer's if you have Elmer's. You're just looking to get something that'll glue down this popsicle stick and the googly eyes for your butterfly. All right. Amanda, any questions before I get started?
Just a couple. Do you have any ideas for substitutions for the stick if we don't have one?
Yeah, I mean, the easiest substitution is to just paint that section of your butterfly. You know, if you don't have a stick to glue down, even if you don't have googly eyes and you just have paper and paint, or if you're doing this with markers, I can talk you through that technique. Yeah, you don't have to have the stick or the googly eyes to make the butterfly.
Perfect. And a bunch of people are asking, we don't have to make a butterfly, right? I'm sure Zoe has something to say about that.
So check this out. Zoe is getting her fall on early and she has requested to make a pumpkin today. So yeah, in fact, I would love for you guys to tell him in the Q&A what you guys are making today, because I'm going to make a butterfly, and I'm sure some of you guys are going to make butterflies, but I'm pretty sure a bunch of you guys aren't, right? All right, so I'm going to take a piece of my mixed media paper and I'm going to just do a quick sketch to get my butterfly. And the sketch does not have to be perfect because this is a light guideline to what you're going to be doing with the paint. I did Zoe's already because, you know, it was going to make a big reveal. So, all right. I'm just going to take a regular pencil here And I'm gonna take my popsicle stick. Now, if you don't have your popsicle stick, you can do a couple of things to kind of measure this out. You know, you can make it like as tall as your hand, or you can make it as wide as your hand if you want to, or you can just take something else to measure it that's about this length. But the idea is that you're gonna put your popsicle stick here to get an idea for where the wings need to go. And I'm just gonna do 2 bubbles out like this for the wings, and see how I overlapped here. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to actually dot it that way. That's, again, this is just my guideline. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. Oh, see, I'm gonna have to redo that one. Make it a little bit bigger. There we go. And do my other one right here. And again, just gonna have to make that one a little bit bigger. There we go. All right. We love our eraser. So
On your erase, we have a lot of answers. So we
oh
have,
man,
yeah, dog, dolphin, sloth, crocodiles, heart, also butterflies. What else? Umbrella, rainbow flower, frog, family, apple, phone, superheroes, cat.
and those are all excellent, excellent topics to be drawing here. I'm kind of a little bit jealous, but I do love a good butterfly, so not too jealous. All right, and I'm just gonna straighten up this little wing here. So again, this is your guide. It does not have to be perfect. Mine certainly isn't perfect.
I like it.
Oh, thanks, babe. Always a good champion, aren't you, Joe?
Mhm.
All right.
Can I do my paint now?
Yes, I'm gonna put the paint in the wells real quick.
This is already hot.
And I know, because you have yours drawn already.
You draw it.
I know. Okay. Let's see. Do you like all these colors? You want to make it a,
This.
well, these are the same colors. So you
I know,
want
but-
orange?
But there's 8, right? And there's 10.
What color are you gonna make your pumpkin? You gonna do like a rainbow pumpkin? Are you gonna do like an electric pumpkin? You gonna do a green pumpkin?
I'm gonna do a snow pumpkin.
A snow pumpkin? I'm not really sure how to pour paint for that. Does that mean you're gonna have a white pumpkin on a white piece of paper?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I'm gonna have a rainbow pumpkin, and I'm gonna use this for snow.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay. Then I will get you all the colors since you're going to do a rainbow. So see, these paints are super easy to put here in this little well. Like just, there's so many reasons why I love these. They're inexpensive, they're really good quality, and they're in this super convenient little pack. So you can pour out just as much as you need. It's one of the downsides to like a lot of paints is when you go to pour it out, it just wants to like flow on out and you can't really control it. Like,
Jen, could you repeat again? Is this washable paint, washable acrylic? Could you go over that again, please?
so these pouches right here that I am putting in here are the washable. They're all washable. It's just that these are more highly washable. It's actually rated for a younger audience. So, you know, if you have little ones, these are 3 and up. And then the acrylic paint, this is more of your all-purpose paint. It's a little bit more permanent. So like you got to get to it faster, which is why it doesn't say washable, it's permanent. So it's rated for 5 and up here. And again, I mean, Zoe's old enough to use both, but I'm using this one out of convenience and variety. But you can use either one. I mean, the kit, if you guys bought the camp kit, this is what came in it. It's what we used on Monday to do the paint pool. It's a great, great paint. I'm just trying to mix it up to show a variety of what we have to offer.
Perfect. And does it matter what size piece of paper we're using?
No, I think these are 9x12s, but that's just the size that the Creatology pad comes in. But no, you can use whatever size paper you have. If you have a small piece of, watercolor paper, that's fine, or a giant piece of mixed media paper, that'll work. Just whatever you have, or canvas, like I said earlier, you can do this on a canvas as well. All right, we have all of our paints out. Now, hopefully you guys also have selected your paints. And remember, if you're using the acrylic paint, there's this amazing little key on the back that shows you how to mix. So it's your color theory. For those of you who don't have the color wheel memorized, this gives you an idea of how you can mix and get different colors out of this kit. And if there's any that you want to know about, Zoe knows them all, so she can help you out too. All right, Zoe, you ready to start? You want your Q-tip? Can we toast our Q-tips?
What? What does that
Toast. All right, so I'm going to, one thing you may have noticed is I didn't glue this down immediately. Now you can choose to. I like to leave my stick and the googly eyes for last because I don't want to necessarily get a different color paint on here. You might want to paint it a separate color. So if that's the case, like I'm doing, then definitely leave it off until you've laid your dots down. All right, so here is the big key / secret to dot painting. It's super easy. All you're doing is dipping your eraser or your Q-tip in the paint, and you're just making a series of dots along that line that you just drew. And then you're going to continue making dots in patterns. You can paint on shapes. You can keep the same form of your butterfly. So like in this example, I just kept the same pattern. So it made like a striping effect. And then in this one, I made an outline around the butterfly wings, and then I striped the insides. And this one, you can see I made giant dots here. So it's really just up to you. Zoe's doing a close dot. I'm doing a loose dot. You guys get creative with it. It's my favorite part of this, is seeing what you guys come up with. Maybe a little word to the wise. If you're right-handed, start on the left and go right. Don't do what I did, which is start in the middle, because that's a good way to get your hand in your paint. Now I'm gonna have to be super careful, and I'll try to remember not to do that next time.
So we have a question for you, Jen. Well, so a couple. Do you know how to make the color teal?
Teal. Zoe, do you want to tell them how to make teal? Okay.
Green, blue, and a little bit of white.
Oh man, you're good. That's right. Green, blue, and a little bit of white. Told you. She's a color wheel guru here.
She's an expert. I love it. Another question is, can we use paintbrushes instead of pencils or Q-tips?
Absolutely. You can, in fact, the old, not old because they were old, but in days before, the older painters that really came up with this, which it was called pointillism, they use brushes. So sometimes they would even use the tip of their brush. So instead of the part with the bristles on it, they would flip the brush around and use the end of the brush. But yes, again, the technique is the same. You're putting your brush in the paint, and then you're just dotting the paint onto the canvas. You're not making, paint swishes necessarily. You're just dotting it on, and that's what gives you the dotting effect. And the cool thing,
Pattern.
you're gonna do a pattern?
I'm doing a pattern. I'm gonna do like straight and then dots.
Okay. The other cool thing is, like with dot paintings, when you get close up, you can really see the dots, but when you get far away, it all starts to blend together in your vision, and you can really see like what the overall picture is supposed to be, and the dots just kind of like go together. It's really cool. Okay, any other questions while we're dotting here?
Yes, we have a couple questions about the glue. So what glue are you using, and could we use hot glue instead of the glue you're using?
I would not recommend hot glue on the paper. And I would definitely not recommend hot glue if you are not old enough to use hot glue. If you've got your grown-up there and your grown-up wants to use hot glue, that is an option. If you don't have a white glue. So if the situation is that you don't have like a Elmer's glue or a Creatology glue, then absolutely your grown-up can help you use the hot glue, but I wouldn't recommend it. It's not the best for the paper, in truth, but it will work in a pinch.
Perfect. We have a question for Zoe. How can you make turquoise?
What?
Turquoise? Do you know what turquoise is?
No.
Turquoise is similar to teal, but it's less green. It's more, it's less green, sorry. It's like more of the blue and the white and less of the green. It's like actually this is fairly close to turquoise as it is. So if you wanted to,
I got paint on.
oh, it's okay. I've got paint on me already.
You like that?
I do like yours.
I'm doing a pattern.
I see that.
It's straight and dotted.
Yep, straights and dots and straights and dots.
Mhm.
I think that's good.
So what age would you recommend this for? What age groups?
Well, if you are using an age appropriate paint, I would say that you could start introducing this as early as 3 or 4. I think that from an execution standpoint, you're going to get probably more clear dot patterns out of 5, 6-year-olds and up. But there's no reason that your younger little ones wouldn't really enjoy doing this. In fact, they would even enjoy doing it with their fingers. So when Zoe was little, we did a lot of finger painting, didn't we? Yeah, she even likes doing it still. So
I need to wash my hands.
that's okay. You know what? Let me give you a towel and you dry the paint off, and then we'll wash our hands when we're done, okay?
Okay.
Okay. You know, Zoe really enjoyed finger painting, and a lot of that technique can be done in finger painting.
Perfect. Another question for Zoe. How would you make orange?
Red and yellow.
Good job. I feel like they're testing you. Do you feel tested?
Mhm.
Yeah. I think that's what's happening here. All right, what's your next color, kiddo? After your pink.
It is not the snow color yet.
You're not gonna do snow yet? Okay,
No.
that's fine.
It's because that's for the snow.
That's right. So you can't put that on your pumpkin.
No.
Okay.
So Jen, would it be okay to paint the butterfly first and then add dots to it?
Sure. Yeah, if you have lots of time and you don't mind waiting for your top coat to dry, you can absolutely paint it a base color if you don't want the base color to be white. And then you could come in with your dots after that and put dots on it. You could even use different colored paper. So if you have like
I'm gonna make
cardstock, or if you're going to use cardstock or like a black paper, that would be cool too. Because especially if you're using bright colors like we are, that'll really stand out.
Perfect. So we have a question about, do you have a pattern for the colors, or are you just going with the flow?
I mean, it's kind of in like a Roy G. Biv pattern. I've added like the lighter blue and the pink just for fun. But mostly just kind of alternating so that, you know, they look good together. I never have like a huge plan ahead of time on how I'm gonna paint them. Part of the fun of going with the flow, I guess.
We have someone having issues making their purple darker. How would you go about fixing that?
Making the purple darker.
That's me.
You want to help? You want to help tell them how to make the purple darker?
Mhm.
Okay.
Just put a tiny bit of black in it.
You could,
Isn't
or you could start with blue. You could start by adding a darker blue. So if you have like a light purple, because what's purple made out of, Zoe? What does purple have in it?
red and blue.
That's right. And the blue is the darker. So if your purple's too light, add a little bit more blue. You can add black, but it's going to actually change your purple a little bit, and it's going to make it a different kind of purple.
But if you wanted that.
If you
color.
wanted to, you absolutely could put black in it. Yep.
Zoe's is getting a lot of compliments.
That's awesome. She's my favorite artist.
Without Jude.
Ooh, don't tell Jude. He hasn't started doing too much art just yet. He's still in the finger painting stage.
And Jude is still in this scribbling thing.
Yeah, he's still into scribbling a little bit.
But remember at the restaurant, he like painted a rainbow.
Yeah, that it was a little stretch, but sure.
But it was true.
Yeah,
He made a rainbow.
He did. I don't know if he could do it again.
He was copying me.
That I believe. He does love you.
Yes. Now which color should it?
I don't know. What's going to look really good next to green? What do you think? We haven't gotten too much into complementary colors yet, but typically red looks really good next to green.
I like purple next to green.
Purple looks great next to green too.
Because it's like the Halloween colors.
That's true. It does give it a Halloween feel. How is everyone's dot painting coming along? Do you feel everybody feeling good about it? You kind of getting in a groove? It's a game of patience to some degree because, you know, you can't just slap it on there. You gotta think about where you're putting the dots.
We have a lot of people are doing great. Some are already finished and are on to the second one.
Wow.
You're loving it.
You guys are awesome.
Am I awesome?
You are awesome. You're already further along than mine. Zoe's trying a mixed technique here between Q-tip painting and Q-tip dotting.
But I might need a brush or something.
No.
Because it's harder.
Because you're supposed to be dotting it, not painting it.
I know, but I was supposed to do a pattern and I thought there was paintbrushes around.
Oh, I see.
Jen, do you ever mix any mediums on there for texture?
So if you want to give it texture, the best thing I like to do for paper mix like this is I like taking a little bit of like glue and mixing it with water and doing almost like a paper mache. But the big thing is I'm getting my texture out of the stick, which is why we have this, you know, because you could just easily draw a butterfly body, but that's really what the stick is for, is to create that.
You're wasting Q-tips. You should use the back of the Q-tip.
Man, you are just full of good ideas today.
So don't waste.
Do you want another?
Mhm.
Okay,
Don't waste.
you got it. No wasting. How do you know I'm not gonna go back and use the other sides?
Just use them.
Too smart for mommy.
And what would you say, Jen, about making big dots instead of small ones?
If you want to use big dots, I mean, you can use a larger pencil. You know how they make the giant pencils. You could do that. You can also, instead of, so what I did on this butterfly is I took the Q-tip and I just swirled the paint around into a big circle. So you can use the Q-tip method and still get a larger circle if you just swirl it around instead of just dotting straight down. That's all I'm doing, is just doing the dot straight down onto the paper.
Let's do almost all of the colors. Almost do.
Are you almost using all the colors?
Yes. I think I need some up in here.
No, all the colors in there are the colors you have here,
I know, but
except for
there's-
black and white.
Okay, I think I'm gonna have to have black.
You think you're gonna have to have black and brown? Well, why don't you finish your pumpkin colors? Are you gonna do your stem brown?
Mhm.
Okay, why don't you finish your pumpkin colors and then I'll get you a brown and a black, okay?
Yeah,
Oh
but
man, stick
I
back here.
got 3 more colors.
Okay, do your 3 more colors.
I'm gonna have to reuse some.
Okay,
I
well, you
that
haven't
one
used
yet.
red, you haven't used yellow, you haven't used, let's see, you haven't
This
used blue.
color.
Yeah, see, red, yellow, blue, done.
And the stem that's gonna be.
You want brown?
black and brown.
Black and brown.
Yes, for the stem.
Okay, black and brown. I can handle that. Luckily, these awesome pouches come in black and brown and white.
Yeah.
And there's even metallic colors for those of you who like shiny things.
What's metallic?
Rich, someone is asking when we're going to use glitter, or if they can use glitter.
Well, my goodness, you can use glitter anytime that you want. If you're gonna use glitter on, like, if you're gonna use glitter, like all over, you can put your paint down and then you can sprinkle your glitter on while your paint's wet. Otherwise, you'll have to use glue and put down glue where you want the glitter to be. So let's say you wanted to do all dots and you paint your butterfly and then let it dry. And then you can go around the outside of the butterfly wings with a glue, a little stripe of glue all the way around your butterfly. And then you can sprinkle your glitter into the glue that goes around and shake it off the rest of the paper. But you'll have to make sure that your paint dots are really dry or else the glitter is going to get stuck in there. And you can also like use glitter on your the body of your butterfly if you want. In fact, I really like that idea. Might have to try that myself. Okay.
What about swirling the colors? Would you recommend that?
I mean, again, this is a creativity exercise, so you can always do things like that. You can even put the dots together, like if you want to make a 2-tone dot, you can. Just be careful with the mixing of colors. You know, if you're going to get your Q-tip in a different color, then you're going to start mixing the colors on in your wells. So if you're going to mix colors, you might do it on a separate part, or you can do it directly on the paper. I'm a big fan of mixing on the paper to keep the integrity of your paint wells here.
And did you waste it again?
I did not. I'm going to go back and use it. I promise. Cross my heart.
Okay.
Okay. I'm having my Q-tips policed.
Someone is asking if you ever use more than one Q-tip at a time.
Oh yeah, you can totally, like, yes, I have before. In fact, I think Zoe did that last time where she took a little group and did a whole bunch of little blobs. So I've done a few things before, and if we have time at the end, I can show you where I've done some little flowers, and you can kind of bunch your Q-tips up so that it has like the shape of a flower where there's one Q-tip in the center, and then you've got a bunch of Q-tips in a circle around the center one. And it makes like, it looks like a little, you know, it looks like a little daisy or something. And so you can actually play around with that and do like the same color. You can do different colors. But yeah, you can absolutely use more than one.
And do you know, do you have any substitutions, or what could you do if someone doesn't have any paint?
Oh yeah, so if you have no paint, you can do the same technique with any kind of art medium. So it's not going to make as big of a dot, obviously, because the Q-tip's bigger than like a pencil or a pen or marker. But you can do this same technique really easily with like, you know, just a regular washable marker. You can do it with a pencil. In fact, if you do it with a pencil, you can get to where you go really fast. You can go dot, 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 really fast with colored pencils. It's a little bit harder with paint because the paint is really liquid and it wants to like fly around your painting when you move too fast. That's the only reason I go slow. Because
I'm doing it fast and I'm
yeah,
seeing
that's
the
true.
lines.
You are doing it fast, but you aren't doing dots, I might add. You have taken on a technique of your own called painting with a Q-tip.
I might need pink again because I did
Here.
that, so now I need the pink.
Look, there you go. I'm gonna switch sides with you so that you have them closer to you. How's that? Are you done with this one?
And I'm so glad you're
That
doing
I see, I told you I had a plan. You just had to have a little faith in your old mom.
I don't think you're
Oh, thanks, babe. All right. This yellow is kind of hard to see.
but I can see it.
Yep. Do you need another Q-tip?
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna do the, oh, you're gonna do yellow too. Here, I'll move it so we can share. How's that?
Yes. Wait, why don't we do this?
Aren't you gonna use yellow? Okay.
I can reach it.
Oh, okay, all right.
So Jen, I have a question about these classes. You might know the answer. Will there be more kids club classes, or is this the last one for the summer?
So this is not the last kids club. This is the last camp class until we get to holiday time. And we're going to be doing a holiday camp similar to what we did last year. So keep your eyes open for that one. If all goes well, that one will actually be virtual as well as in store. So I'm like super excited. We're going to be able to offer it like any way you want to take it. But in the meantime, there will be plenty of kids clubs. There are occasionally kids clubs during the week. But since school's starting soon, we have kids clubs have moved to Saturdays. So you can catch them on Saturdays, or if you're always busy on Saturday, like we seem to be, you can actually catch the videos anytime. So any of these classes that you see, including camp, you can find the video on michaels.com/classes, and then you can just browse the kids section of classes. Do you need some help?
Yes, I make green.
It's okay. You make green. It's okay. So I think the best thing to do here, it's because you touched the blue. The best thing to do is swipe up the green paint.
It just won't go
I know.
away.
Swipe up the green paint
I can
like
still
this.
see it.
Can you let me finish?
Mhm.
Okay. Swipe, swipe, swipe. And then you're gonna have to let this dry for a little bit so that it won't mix again. And so this goes for you guys too. I'm glad this, well, I'm not glad this happened to you, but since this happened to you, I'm glad that I can tell you guys that if you have an instance like this where your paints mix and you really didn't want them to, you can take up the excess paint and then let that section dry, and then you can come back over it with the paint color that you're looking for.
That means I can do pink, right?
Yes, you can go ahead and do your pink. There you go. You're welcome. Okay. Any more questions about Kids Club, Amanda?
Yes, what time on Saturdays?
So it is 4 p.m. Central Time.
Wait, we're
And
doing
I
it on
think-
Saturday?
oh, well, we're not doing it this Saturday. I'm just telling them when it happens on Saturday. And then very soon we will have Kids Club starting back in the store as well, which I'm very excited about.
Are you only on TV or am I on TV with?
And the Kids Clubs in store are going to be free, just like the ones online. And with the camps, if you take a camp and it has supplies included, those will have a small fee, just like the online classes. If you buy the kits, you know, there's a cost to the supply kit. But if you don't want to take them in store, you can always take them online, and the Kids Clubs are always free online.
I need these too. So.
Oh, are you ready for your brown and your black?
Yes.
Okay.
Because look.
Yep. Oh, that's right. You're ready for your stem and your snow, right?
Yeah. But I'm gonna have to
Uh-oh.
put this in now.
I made a mess.
Like,
That's okay. I'll fix it.
I was gonna do that.
What are some of the, so I know some of you guys told me at the beginning, some of the things that you're painting that's different than a butterfly. And for those of you who hadn't decided yet, what have you guys decided to do?
We have a bunch of people painting backgrounds for their.
Oh,
Yeah.
very smart.
Does anyone have stickers?
Oh, that's right. Zoe loves stickers as an embellishment for her paintings and stuff.
But let it dry first.
Oh yes, let it dry first.
Very smart.
Don't want to put a sticker on a wet blob of paint.
Won't just stick.
That's right. It won't stick. It's almost like you've done that before.
Yeah, I did do that. You know I did that.
I know you did do it. It's okay. Uh-oh. All right.
So we have trees, flowers, skies, suns, sea creatures. Sweet. That's pretty cool.
What are the sea creatures?
Well, Zoe's interested in the sea creatures. I knew that would happen. She's a big fan of Nessie, the Loch Ness monster, and the Yeti, Bigfoot.
I like Luca.
Oh yeah, they have sea monsters in Luca too.
I wish I could make Luca. Luca is a little too complicated.
You think he's too complicated?
Yeah, because I
don't
don't
know.
even know how to draw him.
I think you could do it. You drew Poppy and Barb.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
sure I can. Because that's the only character I could make. But I could make different characters like My Little Pony and stuff.
That's true. You're good at My Little Ponies
Because
too.
I did My Little Pony today.
I
did
know.
2 My Little Ponies.
I saw. You were cranking them out.
Books. Read books.
We
Okay.
have a
save this
Pikachu,
to-
mermaid as well. And we have a couple questions about how you make red, yellow, and blue.
You don't make red, yellow, and blue. Unfortunately, those are your primary colors. So if you don't have those colors, there's no getting them.
Perfect. Thank you.
In the back. There you go.
Yes, I need it.
There you go.
I need to make the snow.
Oh, that's right. You gotta make
I
snow.
forgot the snow.
The snow pumpkin. This was a snowy Halloween, apparently.
No. It was a fake pumpkin.
Oh, I see.
That's
Was
why
it a
it's
fake snow?
rainbow.
Okay.
This was real snow and a fake pumpkin.
Oh, I see. All right. Okay, I am almost done with this butterfly, which means that we can start on the body soon. So now the body of the butterfly, you can paint it to match your butterfly, or you can paint it to be different than your butterfly. Like I did a rainbow butterfly the other day, and I did like a black and white striped body, so it would be contrasting. And I also like to paint the stick. So I use the Q-tips, but I do more of Zoe style here, where I paint it a little bit more than just dot the paint on. But you can do it any way that you like. We are almost done here with Miss Butterfly.
Kelly's making a monarch butterfly.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Kelly's making a monarch butterfly.
Ooh,
So pretty.
I'm impressed. I'm not a super skilled butterfly identifier to know how to properly draw a monarch butterfly. Guess I could have made a moth. They look similar. Although I've never seen a rainbow moth before.
You could just draw one.
That's true. Maybe next time we can do a dot caterpillar.
Oh yeah,
That'd be fun.
Wait, why don't like we can like make a caterpillar, and then we make a butterfly, and then we stick those two papers together.
Ooh.
Because a caterpillar turns into a butterfly.
That's true. All right, so I have finished my dots for my butterfly. So I'm gonna set this aside for a minute to dry while I decorate the body of said butterfly. Okay.
I need that cute too.
You want
Jen,
No, more.
would you recommend using paper towels instead of paper?
Would I recommend using what instead of paper?
Paper towels instead of paper.
You mean to paint on?
Yeah.
No. A paper towel is super absorbent. And so what it's going to do is pull that moisture from that paint right in, and it's going to blur it out a lot. And it's going to soak right through that paper towel. So that's why you want to go with the medium weight paper, or a mixed media paper, or a watercolor paper, or a canvas, because it gives you enough density that your paint isn't going to destroy the paper or leak through the paper, which is why I didn't recommend using a light paper or like a copy paper. So, all right, I'm gonna turn this over so you can see my stick here. And I really loved whoever's idea that was about the metallic.
I like this so much.
So I'm gonna do like a silver body.
A silver.
Isn't that
I didn't know
cool?
you did silver.
Isn't that awesome? I have silver and gold.
Really?
Yeah, so Creatology, man, they make, look at that. Silver and gold.
Okay, I'm gonna have to have gold
You're gonna have to have gold.
for the sun.
Okay, a gold sun. Ooh, I like that. I like that.
I'm gonna have to use.
All right,
something.
so I think what I'm gonna do is actually put my googly eyes on first. That way I can, you know, be sure not to put the paint where the googly eyes are. So I'm gonna take my glue and put a little bit at the top where the eyes are gonna go. Just a tiny little dot for each eye, like that. And I'm going to fish out some very tiny eyes. Let's see. Do I want little bitty eyes? Oh, here we go. Here's some medium-sized eyes. What do you think? Little tiny eyes? You
I
like the
like
little
that.
tiny ones? Okay.
Wait, the googly eyes
Oh,
that I have to.
You gotta wait for it to dry, remember?
Yeah,
Okay. So I'm just gonna put these little googly eyes right down in the paint.
I have ginormous.
I know yours are huge.
And mine are
Mine are gonna be
go
teeny tiny.
Mine are going to go going on the top.
Mm-hmm.
Yours is going on the top, and mine is going on the tippy top.
Yep, that's right. All right, so put your googly eyes on. If you want to put lots of goo, maybe you have a monster. Ooh, maybe the sea monster has like lots of eyes. Or maybe it only has one really big eye. That would be fun too.
Yeah, I wish we could have a googly eye that was like
Giant.
this big.
Yeah.
This big.
You know, you could put 3 eyes on your pumpkin.
Oh.
You want to do a 3-eyed pumpkin? Like a monster pumpkin?
No.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay, so I have my googly eyes,
I want a 4 eyes.
my googly eyed stick, and then I'm going to, oh, is this yours?
But I don't need that.
Are you done?
anymore. Yeah. I need silver for the lines.
Okay. Here, you can use the back side of my,
Purple.
Yeah. there you go.
So Jen, would a glue stick work to stick the googly eyes on the stick?
A glue stick. You know, you could possibly get the glue stick to stick googly eyes. It's less likely to work than the white glue, just because it doesn't give you a lot of how can I describe it? Like the glue stick is a drier glue. And while I think it would stick okay to the wood and it would stick the wood to the paper, I'm not sure that it would work as well with the plastic of the googly eyes. But in all crafting, there is experimentation. So if that's what you have, then I would recommend giving it a try. And if it doesn't work, then you can get some of the white glue and put them on.
Perfect. And what about the dot painting? Do you varnish it or do you put anything on top of it?
Nope, just leave
All
it.
done.
Leave it as is. Maybe frame it and hang it if you're really proud of it.
Can I put glue on it now?
Can you put glue on it? Where are you gonna
Yes.
put the glue? Oh, the eyes? Yeah. Hold on one
Because
second.
it's kind of dry.
Yep. Let me finish my
In
silver.
fact, it's very dry.
Is it very dry?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna let that silver dry just for a little bit. Now show me where you want your first eye.
Here.
Hold your finger there. All right. Hold your eye. Wow, it's really hard to pick up. There you go. Hold your eye. All right. And now I'm going to put your finger. Put your glue dot there. Now press that eye. Oh, let me put a little bit more.
Because it's so
Yeah, it's a big eye. I forgot how big that eye is. Now gently press it until the glue comes to the edge, and then don't push it anymore. Did you just push it more? Wow. All right, where's the next one go?
Here.
Okay, move your finger. All right, now this one, don't press so hard. When you see the glue come to the edge, stop. Because if you press it too hard, then all the glue is going to push out from underneath it, and it's not going to stick as well. Okay, last color here on my body.
Now I need black.
You need black. Okay,
I need one of those Q-tips.
there's your Q-tip.
If we run out of
We'll get more
Q-tips-
Q-tips.
Ah,
Did you just drop it?
I got it.
Okay.
Go on my leg.
Okay.
It got me wet.
All right. I'm assuming we have some people who have finished their beautiful butterflies by now.
Not everyone is having a butterfly.
Well, I'm sorry, good point. I'm assuming some people have finished their dot painting, whatever it may be by now. So hopefully you guys are showing them off to your grown-up and having them take pictures of them. You can put them on any of the social media pages, and you can tag them hashtag make it with Michaels or hashtag Michaels classes. And then those will show up on our Kids Club page so that you can see what you did as well as what other people have done, which would be awesome.
Look what I did. I put 2 teeth.
Oh, wow, those are big. Are those like fangs?
No,
They're
they're
just
like
teeth.
you know how people has 2 teeth sticking out of their mouths.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes that's the kind of teeth.
Okay.
Oh, I like
All
that
right.
one.
Thank you. That's my very sparkly, and I'm gonna have to show you guys from on top of my book because I can't pick it up. It is too wet. That is gonna take a minute to dry, maybe more than a minute. Okay,
It would take hours.
the
I think.
last step in our delightful butterfly is to glue it down to glue the body down here to the butterfly wings. So you're going to take your glue and you are going to run a couple of thin lines of glue up and down that open area.
I need another Q-tip.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna make
Here.
cheeks.
There you go, make your cheeks. Okay, so I'm gonna do this wet. I wouldn't recommend you do it until it's dry, but I wanna show you guys what it looks like. And you're just gonna drop that in on that glue. And then gently, gently press it down. All right. And so there we have it. We have our beautiful glittery metallic butterfly with its beautiful rainbow wings. And it is not dry yet, so I don't recommend you rush the process. I'm going to leave this very much alone after we get done so it doesn't get smudged. And Zoe, that is one incredible pumpkin you have made.
Zoe's pumpkin has been a huge success today. Everybody's loving it.
Awesome. I'm so happy you guys joined us today. I'm so happy you've joined us throughout camp. For those of you who've been able to join us for more than one class, I really appreciate it. All the support and happy crafting. I hope you guys all have a good, happy return to school. And I know Zoe's looking forward to school.
I'm going to first grade.
Yep. And hopefully we'll see you guys soon on another Kids Pub, right?
That might be on winter.
No. On Saturdays. On Saturdays.
Okay.
4 Central. All right,
Next
Jimena,
Saturday.
any last questions we can answer?
I don't see any. Just everybody
Okay.
loving it.
Wonderful. Well, thank you guys and have a great rest of your day, okay?
Bye.
Thanks, Jen and Zoe.
Bye.
Bye.